Welcome in, Chiefs Kingdom, to Chiefs Latest, your one-stop spot for everything Kansas City Chiefs in 15 minutes or less. It is your host, Calvin Silvers. Happy Friday. I think we all need to take a moment and have a sigh of relief as we finally made it to Friday because it's been nothing but nonstop action. We had the Trey Smith contract extension at the beginning, and now we got hit with some more news at the end. Of course, we're going to dive into it, but before we do, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and make sure you turn on those notifications because we had daily videos. That's right, daily videos Monday through Friday here at Chiefs Latest. You're not going to want to miss any of the news or rumors regarding the Chiefs, so hit that subscribe button, turn on those notification ads. It not only helps me in the channel, but it's going to help you stay up to date with everything Kansas City Chiefs. Now, as I mentioned, we got some big news handed to us yesterday. That's right, on Thursday, as Chiefs wide receiver Rasheed Rice was sentenced to 30 days of jail time and 5 years probation for his role in a March 2024 multi-car crash back in Dallas, where he pled guilty to two third-degree felony charges. Now, Rice can serve his jail time anytime during the probation period, which is again 5 years. So that does give the Chiefs some kind of flexibility on the next steps that they need to take to fill this void. Also, the NFL can now expedite its disciplinary process, and per Matt Derrick of Chiefs Digest, sources in the organization believe that Rice could face a 2 to 4 game suspension, which again, another sigh of relief because that is lighter than underdogs Hayden Winks, who noted that the NFL uses a 6 game baseline for aggravated assault. Of course, all this matters because Rice was a breakout star back in 2023, 79 receptions, 938 yards, and 7 touchdowns. And he was on pace for another leap this past season as he had 24 catches for 288 yards and 2 scores before he suffered his injury. And back in 2023, when he was a rookie, he was the second leading receiver on a Super Bowl team. He was contributing early. Again, we are likely going to see another step with him last year. This is someone you need on the field as much as you can do it. His 79 catches, 9 career touchdowns, that's critical for Mahomes, especially after the Chiefs' passing game struggled post his injury in 2024, where they finished 12th in passing yards. So again, a 2 to 4 game ban is manageable because they can let Rice return as soon as week 5. But again, he's going to have to miss some time. He's going to probably likely miss weeks 1 through 4. So again, Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown, they are now going to have to step up even more than what was expected. And of course, a rookie, which we'll get to here in a little bit, will also likely see a big step in his production. And there might be more pressure on Travis Kelce now. He might not have that ability to kind of, grow into the season, find his footing, and produce. He might be expected to produce right away now. He might not have that ability to get into a flow. So will that, falter him a little bit? We'll see. But a 2 to 4 game suspension again would be a win for the Chiefs, keeping Rice in the lineup early. That way, not only to spark the, passing game, but to get that connection with him and Mahomes back to what it was back in that rookie season. And camp starting soon. I think the two questions are Rice's health and his maturity. Can he stay focused and healthy, and can he lead this offense despite what's going on in the background? But of course, he does have to face some kind of suspension. So there are some free agent options out there, and one of those could be bringing in Amari Cooper, because if this stretches to, beyond 6 games, I think the Chiefs are going to face another major problem because one injury to Xavier Worthy, one injury to Hollywood Brown, whether that be in camp or whether that be during the season, now that means you would have to throw someone in like Sky Moore, Juju Smith-Schuster, Jaylen Royals. You do have Thornton as well, but, some names that might be not as exciting per se, except for Royals, who there is some hype around him, but he is a rookie. So if you have to thrust someone like those names into it, you could have a repeat of what we saw last year with the passing struggles and the fact that you expected these people to be out on the field and they're not. It seems like always something wrong with the Chiefs wide receiver room. Again, bringing in Cooper didn't have the best season last year. Of course, spent time with two different teams. A career worst 44 receptions, 547 yards, and 4 touchdowns in 14 games. Or to break it down even more simpler, 3.1 catches and 39.1 yards per game. I get it. It does not sound that great. It's not eye-catching, blah, blah, blah. But it's hard to believe that Cooper, even at 31 years old, lost his spark so fast. He's had 4 1,100-yard seasons in the 5 years prior, including a career-high 45% red zone target share back in 2023. That makes him a perfect ring-chasing veteran like the Chiefs had in DeAndre Hopkins. His experience, I think, also would stabilize this receiver room, and you just need passing game stability overall. Again, 12th ranked passing game in 2024 that faltered without Rice, and all those 1,000-yard seasons that Cooper brings, I think that's going to prevent another collapse. And I keep coming back to it, but that 45% red zone target share in 2023, that fills a gap for Mahomes, who leaned on Hopkins and Worthy in the red zone last season. You want to, again, have a duo of targets that you can go to in the red zone. And I like his experience. I like adding a veteran like Cooper in this situation and scenario over someone who may have more of a learning curve in learning the offense. You want to bring in someone with experience that knows how to get going quickly, because you don't need these wide receivers, hopefully, for that long, maybe 4 to 6 games. Now, if they perform really well in those 4 to 6 games, you can maybe make some room for them. But again, you only need them for so long. Back in 2023, his last season over 1,000 yards, he had 72 receptions, 1,250 yards, and 5 touchdowns. He's also has 5 Pro Bowls to his name. And he would fit the cap space, $20.6 million in 2025 cap after reworking the Trey Smith deal. So a 1 year, $6 to $8 million deal, similar to Hopkins' $5.5 million that the Chiefs had to pay. I think that fits, especially if Cooper takes a pay cut for a ring, which I think he would do to play with Mahomes and the Chiefs. So yes, his 2024 flop doesn't erase at all what he's done in the past. It doesn't erase anything of his elite resume. As I was saying, all those, I believe, 7+ 1,000-yard seasons. He has a great red zone ability. I think that could save Mahomes from, 2024's nightmares, especially if Rice is out for longer than 4 games. But what if Cooper doesn't work out? What if we don't want Cooper? Is there another option out there? There is. And you could bring in free agent option Keenan Allen. Now, I like this one as well because Rice's role, he was an underneath weapon. He had a 4.8 average depth of target in 2023 and a 5.2 in 2024 before his injury. So again, critical to Mahomes, quick hitting drags, crossers, slants. They love to use Rice in those scenarios. So Allen, again, older, 33 years old, he could be an ideal playmaker to fit Rice's role, that play style. He's torched defenders from the slot with the Bears in last season. He's posted, 70 receptions for 744 yards and 7 touchdowns, despite playing with rookie Caleb Williams and a bad, shaky offensive line in Chicago. That was not a good offense and still could put up decent numbers. His 9.0 average depth of target in 2024 is 5th straight year below 10. I think that aligns perfectly with Rice's underneath routes, and his 6 Pro Bowls bring some veteran savvy, kind of like Cooper would bring, to stabilize, again, the Chiefs' passing game for a handful. That's all you need him for, is a handful of game. Of course, Allen does have some injury history himself that could be a concern, but again, you only need him short term. I think that's a great fit to pair with Mahomes' precision. I like it, especially with his style compared to Rice's style. He has a 73.7% catch rate. Again, we had some problems with receivers dropping balls. Give Mahomes a reliable target. His experience over younger options like Sky Moore, like Jaylen Royals, I think that gives Mahomes, again, a proven weapon to avoid any early season stumbles. You want to get Mahomes in a flow early. You want him feeling confident and good early on. In 2024, he had 70 receptions, 744 yards, and 7 touchdowns, as I mentioned, despite playing with rookie Caleb Williams. 6 Pro Bowls in his career, 974 receptions, 11,274 yards, and 66 touchdowns. He knows how to play the game, and he knows how to play it well. He could get a 1-year, $5 to $7 million deal, similar to his 2024 money with Chicago. Again, that fits the $20.6 million cap space that the Chiefs have. So Allen's slot ability, Mahomes' arms, I think that could be a match made in heaven. I think this is going to keep the Chiefs' offense more elite than not, even without Rice early on. But despite all that happens, whether you bring in a free agent or not, one rookie is going to benefit from Rice's sentence, and that is Jaylen Royals. A 2-game suspension for Rice, that would be the best case for the Chiefs, and then you probably won't have to go get someone. You'd treat it almost like just a minor injury for Rice, so that would allow them to roll with Worthy, Hollywood Brown, and Jaylen Royals. Again, 4th round steal from Utah State from this year's draft. he could slide into Rice's role as a convincing copy. Not be wide receiver one, but just kind of how he plays. It could almost be a copy. His explosiveness, his ability to play with the underneath passes. I like it. Many pre-draft analysts were even shocked that Royals lasted until the 128th pick. So the Chiefs like what he's done so far. They like the promise he shows. Over 1,000 yards and 50 touchdowns in college. It's a rare blend here of deep ball, 15.2 yards per catch, and short route ability. He has it all. It's something that is a sight to see. He would compete with Sky Moore for snaps, but again, 4.38 40-yard dash and has just a higher ceiling. I think that makes him more of a prime candidate to shine if Rice misses time than, say, someone like Sky Moore. But with this opportunity, you got to knock at the door. You got to be ready. Again, this gives Royals a chance to prove he's a long-term wide receiver 2 or even wide receiver number 3, especially with Hollywood Brown in his future with the Chiefs probably ending after this season. This could be huge. This is an opportunity. This is a chance to help improve that 12th ranked passing offense. And a breakout from Royals could keep the Chiefs offense dynamic against defenses like Denver's, actually against the whole AFC West. You don't want to face any depth issues. But at Utah State, 126 receptions in college, 1,914 receiving yards, and 21 touchdowns. It's going to be fun. He's going to compete with, Moore, with Thornton, that wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4 snaps, his speed, his catch rate. I think that's going to give him an edge over Moore, including because we only saw him have 21 catches last season. So long-term upside, strong camp, I think could lock Royals into the rotation, and that's going to reduce some reliance on veterans like Cooper or Allen, or even saving you some money instead of bringing in someone like Cooper or Allen. But again, it really depends on how much Rice is suspended for. So I think this draft steal, his explosiveness, his skill set, what he's shown you so far, I think that makes him the biggest winner if Rice has to sit just for a few games, 2 to 3. And I think that gives Mahomes a young weapon to mold. And we saw what happens when the rookies get to work with Mahomes early on in their career. Both Rice, Worthy, and now possibly here. So that was Friday's episode. What a week. Hopefully, I kept everything in check for you guys, and you guys were able to follow along with all the action. It's only going to get more and more intense here as we hit training camp. So, because of that, hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications so you don't miss any of the news or rumors, and go down in the comments and let me know what you think about Rasheed Rice's sentence, and if you like any of the free agent options that I gave today, or if you think we should just rock with Royals and see what he can do. Again, I am your host, Calvin Silvers, Chiefs Latest daily videos Monday through Friday. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and until next time, have a good one.